people. Amazing souls. Welcome back. How are we today? I got a recent download about action. Action versus inaction. Where there is inaction in action and where there is action in inaction, yes. I want to read a quote because I was reading a religious text earlier and something hit me. Hi, Jackie. So I'm going to read it to you guys. It reads as such. They who long after success in action. Jeez Louise. Sorry. Hi, Jaren. All right, so this is what it reads. They who long after success in action on earth sacrifice to the shining ones. For in brief space, verily, in this world of men, success is born of action. He who thus knows me, knoweth me, is not bound by actions. He who seeth inaction in action and action in inaction, he is wise among men. He is harmonious, even while performing all actions, whose works are free from all moulding of desire, whose actions are burnt up by the fire of wisdom. Him, the wise, have called a sage. The download I got from this, and when I received this, it hit me so hard. And I feel like this is going to, especially for you, Jackie, for some reason they're telling me, yeah, you. And me, all of us. But it's this trick that our mind plays on us, that there must be something that we're not doing, or we're not doing enough, or we're not doing right? So our mind will put in front of us all of these different things to do, all of these different things to reach for, these answers that are outside of you, when in reality, it's not about the action, it's about the inaction. And what they were showing me was the acting within, acting inwards is the true action. And healing and connecting, right? I want to read what I wrote about this, and then we'll get into some channeled readings, some channeled messages here, because this is very powerful. But I don't have to say it, I feel it, and I hope you guys can feel it too. I put it on Instagram and on my Facebook, so this is what it reads. And this felt very channeled as well. In this world, we are taught that action, I can't do it with this sound. In this world, we are taught that action is everything. It's about what you do. It's about what we do with our lives, our talents, our money, our resources, etc. But can we see that inaction? Can we see the inaction in our actions? Where we feel moved to take action, or to reach for this or that, or the fantasy of something in the future that's more appealing than what we are living in right now. Can we see these actions that prevent enacting progress? Is it possible that inaction, internal action, and inward focus without any external action is the path of the shining ones? This is another quote from it. They who long after success in action sacrifice to the shining ones. For in brief space, verily, in this world of men, success is born of action. This paradigm, an exhausting way of moving through life, success through action, was and is a brief paradigm and core belief we've taken as religion. This paradigm added to the separation of self, the desire to take action, to change an outcome or shape your destiny, is a noble effort, but a fruitless effort. For all of the success we may acquire, there is no peace. There is just us, desperately moving without faith, without knowing, exhausting our energies, and constantly reacting to the void we perceive as our wrongness. leading us into further action. Pinching off from being. Feeding a program that's only purpose is to separate us from who we be and keep us distracted by what we do next. And the shame that comes with the perceived failure of living in this cycle. Where are we forcing action? Are we needing to assert some sort of control over our life experience? Do we feel connected to God's source? Do we feel it is action standing between us and God's source? Do we fear the inevitable truth and rebirth that emerges in inaction? If you're spinning your wheels about what to do next, I have an invitation for you. Do not just be, enact, inward action. So the big message I got here is the lack of perception of, I'm not really sure who's here, but whoever's here, I'm hoping you're receiving this. Whatever it is that we feel, that void, that ickiness that makes us, that feeling of like not being where we need to be and reaching and running towards something else, right? To do something. I got to set this thing up. I got to learn how to do this. I can't do this because I don't know how to do that. And all of these different avenues that our mind tries to take us down in action. And then us slipping and falling. Why? Because the action is not going to bring in the integration. It's the being. It's the inaction. It's the inward work, which so many of you have already done. You've done, not that you're done is in the sense that you're finished, you're complete, you have no more work to do. It's more in the sense of you've done enough integration work to understand that it's not always about action. Sometimes it's just about being, holding space for what it is that you are desiring to come through, and holding space within yourself, rather than allowing your anxiety and your thoughts to lead you into all of these actions that add further resistance to what it is that you are manifesting. What you want is what we want. And so much shame that we hold for all of the ways in which we tried and failed. But it was never meant to be then. Everything is in divine time. And we have no idea the processes and the growth that occurs, even on a subconscious level, even just in the sleep space, minus the conscious work that you're doing in the waking life. We know that right now there's a lot of intense energies, and a lot of these energies are pointing us to take action, to do something. But perhaps the action that is wanting to be inspired is the inaction, the homecoming from you to yourself, learning how to find contentment, true bliss within your own spirit and body and temple. It sounds so far off, but it's really not. It's a decision. Knowing that you're riddled with thoughts and programs that are constantly distorting and tainting the purity of the power of what we hold. Guides, angels, ancestors, ascended masters, beings of love and light, those that walk with us, thank you so much for all that you do for us. Thank you. Thank you for offering me this abundance of downloads and wisdom lately. I ask that you protect against any distorting energies and or intentions. I ask that we honor the ancestors and what those that are walking in God's divine light and what they wish to be transmuted, transformed, reborn, edified within their bloodlines. Allow the divine work to occur here. Archangel Michael, please escort any energies of distortion to a place of evolution or dissolution now. We wish only to receive from the divine source of clarity, light, and love. Thank you. Blessed be. So it is and so it shall be. Can we elaborate on this message, Spirit? Think about it. Think about all the times in which you were in a panic situation or you felt like you had to do something, you had to change the game, you had to do something differently, now or never, right? And you did something. You took action, right? You took that class or whatever. You know, they're telling me a lot of this, you'll know And it's not that action is wrong, right? But I'll get to that in a second. But you'll know when something is coming, when an action is coming from a fully integrated part of you, because there isn't necessarily this feeling of urgency. It's just this feeling of ease and flow, right? And action is good, right? We're not saying action is bad, but we're saying this that's a mind's game, right? And when we move forward fully integrated in energetic motherfucking dominance, because that is what we are here to do. And when I say energetic dominance, I mean you are in control over your experience, over how you feel, right? This is what we're striving towards, right? A solid temple to reside, to live out this incarnation, to live above what weighs everybody else down in their unconscious. Mm-hmm. This is my God card, the Nine of Cups. Just notice that he's just sitting there and crossing his arms. He's not doing anything. He's not expecting anything to come in, and he's not doing anything. He's just sitting there. And the Nine of Cups represents this feeling of a wash of emotional bliss and excitement when something that you've always wanted comes in. And Spirit is saying it's not about what you do. We need you to make space. We need you to make space. Okay, Jackie, if you were the only one receiving this, then I'm grateful for the work that I've done today. I need to share this, and it doesn't matter who's here. Not that you don't matter, but I mean, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. For in the past, with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse and the Three of Cups in the reverse, it's been this collective sticky game. You know, it's like cooties. They're telling me it's like cooties. Who's got cooties? Everybody's got the cooties over there. But you keep going over there because you keep thinking that something over there is going to get you over here. And you're already over here. Straight channeled. All of that was just straight channeled. Hopefully it was easy to follow. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Right, it's about who you are, not what you do. And what you think is not who you are. What you do is not who you are. Hello, Kelly. For in the past, how often have we compromised what we feel? The knowing of what we feel. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, I'm just going to deliver it the way I'm hearing it. How often do we compromise the knowing of what we feel to find some kind of harmony with those we were never meant to find harmony with? Whether it be a job, whether it be a relationship. This is a pattern. They're telling me a lot of this for you guys is a karmic pattern. Constantly looking up and putting on a pedestal those that are so lost in distortion and unconscious. Because they have created a very, very efficient and impactful way of putting forth an image that looks shinier, purer, more powerful, more successful from the outside than it truly is. This vision of your future, fame, the perfect job, the perfect relationship. How often have we allowed these mirages in the middle of this desert to pull us off of our journey? Because it's all about the foundation, and that's what Spirit is saying. If you get lost in your head, in your fear, in your disconnect from us, because of all the shame you have over the success that you perceive is attached to your progression, hear this. Like, it sounds convoluted, but hear it. Okay? How often do you assume the connection between your success and your evolution, your ascension? They are inherently linked. But are you judging where you are based on what you haven't achieved yet? This is the trick of the mind. This is the trap. The trap of action. This is what that is. I'm going to go on a diet and I'm going to lose 40 pounds by Christmas. Great. What happens when my mind, body, spirit complex are not in alignment for that to happen? And then I have shame. And then I feel like I must be failing. I must not be doing it right. I didn't stick to my word. My relationship with myself is tarnished. My relationship with myself is damaged. And Spirit is saying it wasn't supposed to start with the doing. It was supposed to start with the being. The being, that's your foundation, is your being. Your relationship with yourself is what allows you to be able to accomplish what it is that you desire, your relationship with yourself. And this is what has been worked on. This is what all of these transits and all of these retrogrades are bringing forth. Feel it, heal it, receive it. Because we have a Mac Daddy of alignments and energetic support to make this so much easier than it's ever fucking been. And Spirit is saying it's not about you not sticking to your word. It's about you assigning yourself to action because you have a feeling of discord within yourself. You have this hole, this gaping fucking hole in your spirit that you assume is due to the lack of respect or all the things you haven't achieved in your life. And Spirit is saying, no, you are feeling that pain because you have pinched yourself off from who you be. And you think that action and doing and more mind games are going to fix it. And all it is doing, it is spinning your wheels and continuing to put a wedge between you and the relationship with yourself. Meditation is not for you to make money. Meditation is not for you to get rich and manifest. Meditation is for you to get acclimated with who you truly be and build a strength around that, around your temple, so that when you are able to manifest these things and you are in your flow, you'll know, oh, action, that whatever my mind is wanting me to do, action. Remember what I said about the pimp, right? Look at that pimp and say, bitch, you don't own my body, you don't own my life, stop telling me what to do. So many of us don't realize that our shadows, our masculines, our feminines, there's a delicate and intricate yet organic balance that occurs when we are in flow. And when we take action, when we're living up here, that's our masculine, our distorted masculine trying to drag us through all of these different trials, all of these different things to try so that we can only come back and be like, well, it's not going to happen for me. And Spirit is saying, yeah, because you're only operating at 20% of who you be. And then that causes a cycle. Action and then action and then action and then action. Action then shame. Action, failure, 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 shame. Who the fuck am I anymore? I can't do anything. And Spirit is saying, of course you couldn't. You kept adding resistance. You kept feeding that fire. It's like having itches, they're telling me it's like chicken pox, and the doctors are telling you don't scratch it or it's going to get worse, and you just keep scratching it. And then what was supposed to be a week-long affair with this fucking sickness is now a 3-week-long process of you healing all your scabs, and then they're still itchy, so you keep scratching. Exactly. Thank you, Jackie. I'm gonna write that down. That's a perfect way of putting it. No action will ever make up for a lack of alignment. Yes. I gotta write that shit down. Who else is here? Say hi. Even today I was struggling because I'm like, wait, is me just pure action? I'm like, no. I've gone inward. I feel a natural flow and a natural desire to share this. But there have been many times where I felt in crisis with my situation, in shame, like, how can I not have the same level of responsibility as others? Why do I feel like I things that are easy for other people to maintain and have consistency with are harder for me, right? Every time that I enter the muggle world and find a job and do something that I know is going to bring in the devil I know, a steady income. Hi, Theodore. Sorry, I got a call. Sorry, my niece kept calling and then it made the camera go off. But how many times have I tried to assert myself in a space, take action to try and resolve the situation? I'm so sorry, y'all. My niece keeps calling me, and it's not important. I promise you that. Okay. The amount of times that it all of what I just explained all compounded. Do you still do video chat? Absolutely. How you doing private readings these days? So I do video chat readings, which are 60 for half an hour, and 66 for half an hour, and 111 for an hour. And I also do $44 video readings, okay, which are video link readings that are sent to you. But how many times, and this is something I've been reflecting on, have I allowed myself to feel a level of failure, shame, like compounding these false, negative, literally not true beliefs about myself because I've attempted something. I put myself out there. I decided I wanted to start doing these types of readings online or whatever. And it was all for the action and wanting to see something move, but I wasn't at all considering where my alignment was. Maybe a little bit. But this world had beaten into me that it was action. There's so many of us out there, light workers, feel like hopeless about the potentiality of us growing platforms and finding success and finding abundance because we have been operating in the old ways. Our little, not our little hands, but our angelic, soft fucking fingers and hands. We're not out here working in the fields and being slaves and being plantations. We have soft hands, babies. Okay, we have soft hands. So no, we cannot pick up the tools that everybody else are using and try and use them. That's not how this is supposed to work. That's not what we are designed for, right? We are directly in the cut. But then something else wants to come in or some other things want to come in and get in the middle of the cut. Get in the cut of the cut. Blocking us from what we blocking us and misdirecting us from what we are designed for in this life. And it doesn't mean that you need to get it. Don't even take action. Listen, don't even rush to take action to go inwards. Just be, feel, allow yourself to feel, right? But then allow yourself the opportunity of building a relationship with yourself. So many of us are desiring relationships. So what is your relationship with your fucking self right now? How do you feel? As I speak it, I receive it. I'm channeling. This is not just me speaking it to you all as if you haven't figured out something that everybody at the front of the class knows. We're all in this together. I want to pull some more cards on that. Because believe it or not, our cup is crusty as fuck. Because we've been putting all types of liquids in there and we haven't been rinsing it or wiping it clean. Right? And now Spirit is saying you going inwards is you allowing like putting hot water in that cup and allowing every little piece of crust and shit to dissolve. Hi, Wandy. Wandy, and those of you guys that jumped in now, I really recommend that you go back and watch from the beginning when this is posted, because there's a very important message here. The mind is going to want us to take action. Spirit is wanting us to receive what has been given. And every time we take action, we leak our energy out, we do random shit, right? Because we feel like we need to, right? We take a channeling and something that we're receiving, and then we mix it with our immediacy and our desire for things to go quickly and for us to get where we want to go. And then we convolute something, and then all of a sudden it's not working, or it's not going in the way we intended, and we still haven't formed or mended that relationship with ourselves, putting us in alignment with what we desire. This is not about thought. This is not about this, right? This is riddled with programs that have kept you in a space of disempowerment your entire lives. This has been opening up gateways for you to receive. But this steps in and says, okay, well, we've done a little work. And now we should just implement this plan, because we know that the money's going to come in somewhere, right? But it's this immediacy to take action, this fear of even missing the boat, right? All of this is a program, and to be honest, it's a Luciferian program. It's of Luciferian energy. I don't want to say the direct opposite, but it is in contrast to the Christ conscious energies. That's amazing theater. This age, who I am, what I do, is not to tell the future. In what world would the divine create so many of us doing this work right now just to predict the future, when we already have a worldwide epidemic of not being in the fucking present? So putting psychics, healers, mystics on a pedestal, it's defeating the purpose, and it's going to land us right back where we started, in a cycle of unconscious density and bullshit. And we have an opportunity now to hold the line, stand together, arm in arm, all knowing that we have been present with ourselves. Let's talk about inaction, inward action. What is your what is your process of inaction, right? Shadow work, right? But even all of these things, the mind tricks us into believing that these things are things we need to do, right? I'm trying to be very careful about spirit wants you to, or spirit needs you to, or your higher self needs you, or you need to, when I'm doing readings. Because the need is coming from this place of distorted action, taking action, because you're what? In fear and here. So even the shadow work, even the journaling and the dream diaries, are you doing it because you genuinely want to create a relationship with yourself? Or are we doing it because we're afraid Spirit just went blank. Give me a second. That must have been I'm on the wrong track with that last word. Or are you doing it because you feel like you need to do something in order to get something you think that you want? All of that is gravy, right? All of that is icing, right? None of that is the cake. The real cake is you, the beingness of you, the ability for you without any external shit. Not no money, not food, not even water. See, even that, which I need to create more structure for, no, you don't need anything. We don't need anything. We are made complete. We don't need anything. We may perceive ourselves to need money, to need food, to need bills paid, to need a relationship, to need this or to need that. But that is our mind tricking us into assigning our deficiency to something outside of ourselves. Assigning our deficiency, our minds assigning what this feeling of emptiness is to that thing over there. But if you are inacting, if you're inward acting, if you are inward, you will eventually realize that what was missing was the presence and the alignment of who you be outside of the programs this has learned. So now let's bring it back to the pimp analogy, right? Think about whenever you're, for example, whenever I do a reading, I'm highly critical of myself. I'm a Libra sun and a Virgo moon, right? I'm highly critical of myself. So when I do a reading, and after the reading is done, even though I know a lot of good work and a lot of good energy was exchanged and I did my job, I'm beating myself up. Da da da, whatever. Now I'm like, yo, pimp, back the fuck up. I don't need you to step in between me. I'm talking to my own mind. Pimp, back the fuck up. You're not about to pimp me and come in the middle of this transaction and take something for yourself. And leave me with nothing. Leave me with less. Leave me circling in my own head. Disconnected. Oh, you got a lot of Libra, Jackie. That's why we get along. That's why we get along. The analytical mind can serve. You know how powerful I'm going to be the more... Listen, I'm not all the way there yet. I'm not. It's been a journey. But trust and believe, when my guides came through and my spirit team came through this week, they came through to tell me, you are fucking chosen. And it's not because we chose you. It's because you chose it time and time again. You may perceive yourself to have messed this up, to have squandered this opportunity, whatever. We knew that there was a time and a place for everything. And we know that every time we truly put that ball down, or every time we serve it to you, we know that you hit it every fucking time. You were the fucking MVP. And I still struggle to receive that. But if you look at it, if I look at it, and if I look at who I was 7 years ago, I was a shell of who I am now. So yes, I've been on the path of inaction. Because the action part, I'm not ready for yet. No, that's not true. The action part, I'm just now becoming ready for. But I'm not gonna let the pimp in here. I'm not gonna let the pimp energetically, any energy that wants to act within the pimp frequency, that middleman frequency, trying to step in and get what's theirs in the middle, what they think and what they feel they're entitled to, in the middle of what, in something they have no business in. And the more you tell that pimp, back the fuck up, go to your corner. You don't own my body. You're not here for me. You don't deserve any of this. I'm keeping this for me because I earned it. The less that program, that entity, that energy is going to come back and feed on you. And that is how you come into alignment. Because so many of us, the out of alignment part is the head. It's the mind. Through all of its trauma and all the ways that it has learned to survive in this life. But the mind is a low achiever. It's an underachiever. I digress. I want to pull a postcard from Spirit. And if anybody wants a donated reading, now's your time. As I'm wrapping this collective message up. And if I don't get any donations, then... So how do you calm the pimp when you're doing something like a presentation, i.e. needing to prep it in action versus being? You know what I mean? Yes, I do know what you mean, and that's a good question. How do you calm the pimp? You have to get used to, in the moment, in the present moment when it's happening, recognizing it. That's literally 90% of the battle, is recognizing when that pimp steps in and saying something, whether in your head, out loud, or in a prayer, right? You're not coming for this. Mm-mm. You know, when I'm overthinking an aspect of a friendship or a relationship now, I'm celebrating, because the amount of times I'm now noticing when that pimp steps in is all the amounts of time where I get to keep the peace that I hold. It's just recognizing it. Jackie. Who's still here, Jackie? I know you're here. Who else is still here? Let us see. Oh my God, that's so funny. Tell me that just came in now, Jackie, what you sent me. Tell me that email just came in now. Tell me. Tell me. Dearest you, even though life seems now to be moving tell me, oh my God, this is so funny. This is so funny. Even though life seems now to be moving full steam ahead, it's time to rest. Allow ideas to flow through you and take root in your heart before they reach your mind. Honor this process by becoming empty to allow for inspiration and the magic of dreaming. You see, I never understood this card as much as I do now. You might feel lazy or unproductive, but we know better. Just as sleep is a way to recharge before renewal, so are you in a time for dreaming. In this powerful process of co-creation, your soul merges with spirit in a profound way, so you can receive your music directly from source and play your part in the symphony of life. You are being invited to bear witness to the great creation and tune into what others can't hear. We have so many dreams to share with you in the sacred and invisible. Don't worry, we will wake you when it's time to return with a new dream. No need to set an alarm clock. So they're also showing me it's like so many times we've received divine inspiration for something, but rather than receiving it and then realizing when those distorted processes start to happen and back up from it, we kind of go in full fledged and inherently sabotage what it was. You know, instead of receiving it and protecting it. This is what spirit means when they tell me put a condom on it. They don't just mean physically, obviously. They mean protect it. Protect it from yourself. Protect it from your own thoughts, right? Protect it. You received a divine inspiration, protect it. Don't go telling people, especially people who have distortions and have unconscious desires for you to fail or for you to stay in a particular place for their own unconscious weird shit, right? It's like all the times that I wanted to succeed. I wanted to win. And I wanted to show everybody that and this is the truth. I wanted to show everybody. Sorry about that. I wanted to show everybody that that what I'm doing, the path that I'm choosing has value. That that I'm not a lot of the things that I've been called in the past, right? Lazy, an underachiever,
It's unreal.
whatever.
I mean, it wasn't.
It's never been that for me. And that is an easy judgment. That's an easy judgmental truth for me to settle on. I'm not saying this because I feel the need to share all of my life. I'm saying this in hopes that you, whoever, Jackie, I'm assuming is you, can relate to it in a different way. I wanted to find success in my readings, have all of these viewers and followers, right? But that was only coming from a place of me wanting to take action out of a place of deficiency. But that deficiency, it's like your body is craving bananas, but you're over here eating fucking, I don't know, almonds. We don't need to do anything. Well, it's not even that. It's like there's sometimes a desperate nature to when we allow ourselves to get lost in what everybody else is lost in. There's a desperate nature for us to um, progress, to proceed, to feel progression, right? But this is like a 20-year-old like so desperate and like completely annoyed at the fact that they're 20 because they just want to be 21 and go out and drink or go to the dispensary and buy weed or just be grown, right? And spirit is saying, yeah, there's a time, there's a delicate process that's occurring, and you could help that if you continued to strengthen and build and treat your relationship with yourself as the most important relationship in your fucking life, even over your kids, even over everything else. Because what you're doing is you're creating a pattern and you're showing through living what that does. That is the true potent, undiluted, most powerful version of inspiration that you can offer to the people around you. Is developing that relationship with yourself and coming into alignment and aligned action, inward and outward, inaction and action. And now that we know all of this, what do we do with it? Nothing. I didn't even know that was going to be the answer, but I just channeled it. I finally feel like I feel like I have a lot of these moments, but I finally feel like I'm accepting my power as it is. I feel like I'm knowing, right? There's less and less of that little pimp in my pimp is getting smaller and smaller. To the point where I could fucking sneeze and he'll go flying. As I'm smoking a cigarette, right? I leave you in your divine light of the divine creator by Jackie and by anybody else who's watching.